All right, guys. Hey, welcome to the Investor's Guide of Memphis Real Estate. My name is Dean Harris. I'm always with Douglas Skipworth. How are you?
Great, man.
Good. You can see all of our information below. We're bringing you this podcast to give you the boots on the ground knowledge that you need to be a successful real estate investor here in Memphis. As always, I like to tell you that I help buyers and sellers here in the city of Memphis. If you're buying an investment property, if you're selling an investment property, be sure to send me an email. Let's get connected and I can help you with that. Today's podcast, we're going to talk about how to enter the Memphis real estate market. One of the questions that I get frequently, and when I say frequently, I probably mean 35 to 40% of the time.
Okay.
I'll get a question that says something along the lines of, "Hey, I've done all my research. I'm for sure going to invest in Memphis. I'm coming in. How am I going to enter? How do I start?" So that's kind of today's title: how to enter the Memphis real estate market, and what is the best way, in my opinion. Now, I'm not, right about everything. But I will tell you this, I have seen so many since 2016 when we really started to ramp up. I've been selling this since 12, but when I started to buy, really started to ramp up, we have seen, different ways to invest. I have seen so many different investors come into this market over the last, especially 5 and 6 years. In my opinion, there is certainly a right way and a partially wrong way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So there's definitely a right way. I don't want to say when I categorize the wrong way, it's not all wrong, but it's for a lot of people, it's the wrong way to do it. So let's dive down a little bit into that. So let's talk about the different ways first to invest here, right?
Yeah.
We were just kind of discussing this before we started. You've got your traditional single family home.
Yeah.
You've got multifamily homes. And I consider multifamily anything that's basically 6 units and up.
Okay. So single family.
A quad and a duplex and all those, I guess, are technically multifamily properties. But so we'll categorize them all: single family, multifamily. We've got duplexes, triplexes, very few, quads, very few. That's one reason why I don't just put them in.
I agree.
So hard to find here.
Yep,
so
I agree.
We've got that. Then we have short-term rental, Airbnb type investments. We have flip opportunities that you can invest in. Am I missing any?
No, I mean, I guess to kind of do that, I think like you when you talk about I'm going to be a real estate investor. All right, does that mean you're going to be a wholesaler, a local wholesaler, virtual wholesaler? Are you going to do fix and flips?
Yep.
Are you going to do buy and holds? Are you going to be a lender? Those are kind of like, I'm going to be a real estate investor. I think of that. Then it's, to your point, it's like, okay, once you figure out which of those you're going to do, then am I going to do single family? Am I going to do duplex, triplex, small multifamily, 10 unit to 20 unit apartment complexes? Or am I going to try and do large multifamily? If that, it's probably in a syndicate. It's probably not buying a $5 million apartment complex as an individual. Or am I going to do commercial, like small commercial buildings, strip centers, or, And then to your point, when you're doing buy and hold, it's like, am I doing short-term rental, kind of the Airbnb, or am I doing the long-term rental?
Yep.
So, not in our market, there's the vacation, which is more of the short-term rental. So I'm with you. There's a lot of different
tons
things.
Of ways
and being a real
this.
estate investor means a lot of different things.
And it's one reason why I'm in it.
Yeah,
because there's just so many options.
There are so many options.
Some things work better than others, and I think the navigation through what's really working is what helps a gal be way more successful versus the average Joe.
Right. And I think part of what we're trying to do here is just to help guide people on their journey, their path that works for them, because there's so many different options. And hey, they're the hero of the story,
that's right,
so to speak, and you're the guide trying to help them figure out what's the best path for them based on their goals, based on the resources they have.
Yeah.
So
I had a guy, this is the meat of this now. So this is the question that I usually get. Hey, Dean, thanks for the call. I'm coming into Memphis. Speaking of call, that's one thing I don't want to forget. Just to announce at the end. So they call me, and we're going to do a Zoom call.
Yeah,
so I'm going to announce
baby.
They call me and they say, "Hey, Dean, I've got $300,000. I'm just gonna give you an example. This was yesterday. Dean, I've got $300,000 in capital and cash that I can spend, and that's going to be about all.
Okay.
I can add a little bit to it, but this money over here is the money that I've saved.
Allocate to my
real estate investing.
Yeah, love it.
Don't particularly care how I invest. I know I want rentals, and that's 95% of my clients. I know I want buy and hold, and I want to just have some positive cash flow, and I want to have as many as I can get. I just want to buy as many houses as I can buy, $1,000 in rent and higher. I get that frequently.
Okay.
All right?
And I heard a lot of parameters.
I heard some pretty strict parameters.
Yeah,
in
good.
There.
That's good.
They didn't give me the option to go through what we just went through.
Correct.
With every one of these. They want a single family product.
Rents for more than $1,000.
Rents for more than $1,000.
They want to buy multiple. So that
can.
Means they're probably going to leverage, not just use all cash.
Yes.
So
here's my advice. And then this is exactly what I told them. I said, the first thing that you should do in Memphis is to get to know Memphis. And I don't mean come here and visit and drive around.
Barbecue. That's
not what I'm talking about.
You're talking zip codes. You're talking agents.
Title companies, closing attorneys.
The team.
Everyone. When we've
the
done
zip
the build
codes
your
in
team.
the team or the neighborhoods in the team.
That's exactly right.
Gotcha.
So we've done the build your team and we've done the zip codes. So we have all that information.
check out the zip codes. Those are awesome.
Everyone loves it. It's an enormous breakdown of everything. So I usually start off and I say, hey, look, the one thing that you don't want to do, because BRRRR is the most popular. They hear about
the BRRRR strategy, the BRRRR strategy, rehab, rent, refinance,
and repeat.
Yes.
So
we've done an episode on that too.
Yes,
that's right.
And I've done it over 30 times myself. Like I love it. So that's a popular way to come in.
The BRRRR method.
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
And the biggest holdup with that is, oh, Dean, I can't imagine being in Sacramento where I live and trying to manage a $35,000 rehab in Memphis. I'm nervous about that scenario, but I like that. What do you suggest? See, they're going. They go back and forth. So here's my suggestion. This guy had $300,000. The first thing that I told him to do is to get to know us. And what I mean by that is come into the market. Let's buy a home that is safe in a better than average area, a better than average tenant, a home that you're not going to make a ton of money on. You're going to cash flow a little, but it's going to build an equity because it's going to be in an area where there's an equity builder. It's going to appreciation is going to play into that, and we're going to appreciate over the years.
It's a first date.
It's a first date. Man, that's a great analogy. It's a first date. You don't go on the first date with your girl and clobber with your big juicy lips, right? You hope not anyway. That's not the first thing you do when you open the door, right? Hey, I'm here. So go on a nice, simple first date. This house is going to probably not cause you many troubles and problems at all because it's going to be safe. You're going to pay a good amount for it. You're not going to have, it's not going to be a retirement home for you. But here's what that's going to do. It's going to get you, you're now officially a real estate investor. Okay.
Yes.
You're in the game.
Yeah.
Which is what they need to get over that initial hump. Okay.
Yes.
Get into it. You're going to get to know me and my team. You're going to see how we work and operate. You're going to close at either Will Griffin or Local Title, and you're going to get to know those two teams.
Yep.
You're going to talk to Odyssey Construction or our construction guys here at CrestCore. You're going to get to know those two teams.
Yeah.
You're going to talk with other investors. Okay. Because you're going to start mixing.
Now you're an investor.
Now you're an investor. So you can say, I have one. And you can begin to learn Memphis more. You're going to dive into these podcasts and these zip code breakdowns. And you're going to be really entrenched into where that house is and what's going on. And you'll probably come visit maybe. Some people do, some people don't. And we can get you into the building here and meet everybody. And you're going to get to know us.
Right.
And there's about a 95 to 98% chance that everything is going to go super smooth. Right? No issues, no troubles, no nothing. And you're going to think, wow, this is great. You probably need to use a little bit of that $300,000 as your down payment. Okay. Let's say you bought $180,000 house. We really went for one nice. We used $36,000 on that for your down payment. Okay.
20%.
Now we're at $264,000 left. and you have cash flow coming. You have a property rented. Everything is moving right. Everything's going well. Now is the time to where we'll have a conversation of, hey, how comfortable are you? Hey, I love it. I'm super comfortable. Let's try something new. My suggestion is going to be to get another one just like number one. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to suggest let's get you at least 2 that are safe, moving, operable, everything I just described on the first one. Because then you're even a more powerful investor. You've got 2 now, and you're well educated on everybody. You've closed twice. Yeah. Now you've duplicated. You're super confident.
More of a good thing is a good thing.
It's a good thing. So now we're comfortable. Let's just say you used another $36,000. Man, you've got 2 houses in Cordova. They're renting for $1,500, $1,600, $1,700. You've got some good couple $100 in cash flow coming in. You're building equity in the home by paying down principal. You're adding all kinds of experience and knowledge, right?
Yes,
Here we go.
Yes.
So now it's time. You got 220. I'm sorry if I'm dragging on, but
this is good. No,
so
this is great.
Now you've got, let's see, that was 72,000. You've got $228,000 remaining. All right. Now, Dean, I'm feeling comfortable. This is great. I want to BRRRR. You've been putting me off, Dean. You've been telling me to wait. You've been telling me to pause. I'm ready. Odyssey Construction, CrestCore rehab team, they did a little work on my properties.
Yeah.
I feel comfortable with them now. Let's try this rehab. Let's try that BRRRR. Okay. Well, great. Now you feel comfortable. Here's where I talk about the BRRRR. And some people are probably saying, well, why, if that's so great, why doesn't he start out with that? Mm-hmm. Why don't you start with that, Dean? Like, if that's such the great way to do it. And here's why. You heard me use a percentage over here on these that you're going to be about 98%.
Right. Yeah.
When you do the BRRRR strategy, there's probably a 20% chance that you're going to get pissed. There's going to be a 20% chance that something's going to irritate you, not go right. Somebody told you something that didn't happen, and who knows what it would be, but just something during the process is not going to go well. The rehab's going to be higher because when we knocked out that wall, there was mold. We found something in there that went wrong. Yeah. The market rent is $1,600, and dang it, we only got $1,450 or whatever.
It took longer to rent it.
It took longer on the rehab.
It took longer on the rehab.
There is a 20% chance in that BRRRR.
Agree.
That's going to happen. And let me tell you, I don't care how much research you've done. I don't care what all you've done to prepare yourself. If that's the first investment property that you invest in from out of state and that happens, there's a real high probability you're out of real estate.
True.
You're out.
Yeah.
Dean, I'm not doing that. That's
man,
what
that's
a pain.
So good. Dude,
what
that's
a pain
so good.
that I want. I'm not doing that. I that's real estate investing. I can't. The BRRRR strategy.
Throw in the towel.
I'm done. I'm gonna keep my $200,000 over here or my $300,000 over here, and I'm not gonna fool with it. And I just want out and blah 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 blah. And you're done. And you're sour on it, and you're just not. And then trying to re-enter with all that shrapnel and all that, you're not gonna do it. You're going to be out.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if you have these two,
that's so good.
But if you have these two, and they're moving and operating, and something doesn't go right here with your BRRRR, which by the way, when I say doesn't go right, it just means that the numbers aren't quite what you thought they were.
Right.
It's not like the house is going to melt. You know, the sun doesn't get so hot here and then, oh my gosh, I don't have insurance for a melting house. I mean, nothing crazy is going to happen. What's going to happen is that like you're going to get $100 less rent, or you had to pay a mortgage longer on the rehab, or whatever. That's what I mean. You still going to have 3 houses that are going to be good, operable, and cash flowing because you bought this one so cheap.
Right.
Okay. But if you have these, I think if that goes wrong, you're going to be up, but you'll weather it.
Yeah. For sure.
Man, all right, throw it in the pile. Let's keep going. And you'll probably try the BRRRR again because you'll go, well, it isn't going to happen like this every time because it does.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
You'll try that again,
good, man.
And you'll stay in.
Yeah. That's good. I mean, it's like running a marathon. Like nobody goes out and just runs a marathon.
No.
It's like you train, you get in here, or you hurt yourself doing that.
Yeah.
You know, and if you run a marathon and it's not what you expect, then you train harder, or you scale back on your marathons and you say, I'm just going to stick with 5Ks.
That's right.
Okay. So that's good. No, I mean, I think that's really wise advice.
Yes.
It's just spoken from somebody. I mean, what I hear in that is somebody who has lived this for 15 years with clients day in and day out.
100%.
And you are looking to protect them. And if I'm going to guide you through this process, this is the way to do it
100%.
to make you successful for the long term.
They're asking me when they come in, they're not asking me for buyers. You guys are not asking me for one transaction. No. You're asking to essentially partner with me on your portfolio, the building of your rental portfolio here in Memphis. Yeah. And it makes no sense for me as someone with basically all the intimate knowledge of the city and how to do this here to tell you to do it a different way. I don't care what. This way gives you a base. I mean, it's like building this building isn't here without a foundation. They laid a slab for this thing. If they didn't, it'll just sift it away. That's a little bit about what I'm talking about. Your two properties that I'm advising you to get up front that are safe and in a great area, solid. That is your foundation
on the rock.
It's your slab. Yeah. That's exactly right. It's your slab. Because then we'll come up with your framing, which is your BRRRRs. And we'll come up with other things and build this portfolio. But you don't want to start out putting the roof with no floor.
Right. Yeah.
So that's why I suggest that, and I lean towards something a little more conservative, a little safer. Yes, you're getting rid of some cash to get in here, right? You got to put some down payments down. There's the negative of what somebody might say. But I'm here to tell you, are you here to start a business? Or are you here for a transaction? If you're here to win on day one and you want to be the marathon winner on day one, you can't run a marathon in a day. So, and just like you said, you don't start out just running a marathon. You don't start a marathon by sprinting full speed either. You have to, it's a plan. And my plan, from what I've seen with other investors and myself, this is what works.
That's solid.
By the way, this isn't me just saying like,
no, this
is
is
an opinion of what I think might work. This is what I watch work. I watch this work, and I watch the other way fail.
Yeah.
A lot.
Hundreds of times, thousands of times now.
Yes. Yeah. So
that's so good.
So now let's talk about, and I know I'm wearing this out. This is what I deal with every day. I
love it. Then I'm just sitting here going, that's great, because you're right, especially on the BRRRR, because when I thought about the BRRRR, I was like, man, there's more risk in the BRRRR. There's risk that with the rehab, there's risk on cost. I mean, I guess what I would say, the timing of all of the moving parts, the cost and all the moving parts, which and then the refinance.
Yes.
You put the time of the refinance, the cost of the refinance, it could be more.
Yes.
So anyway,
let me go to this next point because it kind of plays into that. So we talked about the occupied and cash flowing properties in the BRRRR. So there's some reasons why I like the difference in those. Like there's difference in those, and I have opinions on both on why. Like over here, when I mentioned that $180,000 price range, you notice I didn't say 100. I didn't say 80 or 90.
That's right.
You don't want to buy a property that's occupied in cash flow and that you can't really see the condition of. Mm-hmm. And you want to have, because here's what you don't want. You don't want a huge rehab when that person moves out. That's why the BRRRR is so good. And I'm going to get to that in a second.
Good. That's good.
You want to make sure that this property is not something that is not in great shape, but it's occupied in cash flow. Because when that person moves out, you won't have a rehab, and we're going to be stuck with something like that. When I'm saying 180 grand, I'm talking Bartlett, Cordova, great condition already, almost residential, almost owner-occupied shape.
Easily could be.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, and that's the reason why. Because you'll be able to have 3 or 4 or 5 different sets of tenants in there without having to do anything major.
Yeah.
Okay. The reason why I say the BRRRR is the best, and let's hold it in our pocket, is because when you do the BRRRR, and you know this, you have complete control of the condition.
Yes.
You know that you put in a new HVAC. You know that you put on a new roof. You know that the floors are new and they're waterproof. You know the plumbing and the electrical and the faucets and all the stuff that causes maintenance issues has been taken care of. That's why that's why I'm very careful here. I don't want you to enter into our market and buy a $100,000, $80,000 home that's occupied and cash flowing.
Right.
It's not in great shape, but it's there and it's working now. I don't want you to do that.
No.
Let's just BRRRR and roll the dice. That much.
Yeah, right.
You need to get up into a suburban area of our city that is safe, newer, solid tenant.
Yeah.
The home is in good shape already.
Yes.
A family, no party house. Like that's kind of what I'm saying. Like you need to make sure that is those two are good and solid. But the BRRRR is where it's at. BRRRR is king. a buddy of mine talk about we want to BRRRR all over the country. Like we just want to BRRRR in all kinds of places and do all kinds of things because of that strategy.
Adding
Banks love
value.
it.
Yeah, sure.
Adding value right away.
Yeah.
You know, you're getting a property for 30 cents on the dollar. You're putting another 25 cents, 60 cents, or I'm sorry, 25 to 30 more cents. Now you got a property at 60 and 70 cents on the dollar that's rehabbed.
Right. And then you go refinance it and potentially get 70 cents on the dollar, which pays yourself back. So you're in it at no money down. So it cash flows better.
Which my example early of my person that has two, if they started the BRRRR then, and that, so they work, they had $226,000.
Yeah.
They can keep that 226.
Yep.
So there's the strategy. There's the wraparound strategy. If you come in with 300 grand, I'm going to have you buy 2 really nice homes. Then I'm going to take that $220-something thousand and we're just going to BRRRR it to death. We're going to go and look for properties that need work. We're going to complete the work and get it done. I've got ways to get work done now, good work done.
For sure.
So that's been the hold up years and years of everybody, not just us or anybody. It's like, hey, can you trust the construction part of this? And 99 times out of 100, it all pans out. But I mean, there is just something that can go wrong, right?
Indeed.
There is just that one little gap of rent. It takes longer.
Oh yeah, no, it happens.
It does.
It's
happen.
a high risk. But it's a high reward.
So that's my strategy, right? Let's talk about. I'll ask you this one. What are some of these areas where you might see a BRRRR? Like, what are some of the more popular locations that you might see a BRRRR in town? Just areas, zip codes. I mean, just in general.
I mean, everywhere from 128, 118, 122, 127, 116, 109.
You can get some BRRRRs in
1,
109.
2.
So the point of this is this.
Yeah.
There's about
all over
20.
Yeah.
There's
like,
about
keep going.
20. We don't have, our city is not one of these areas where you have 2 or 3 locations where there's some.
No.
We've got homes that need work everywhere.
Yes.
All over the place.
For sure.
You get in over 250 grand, it gets hard to do that.
Yeah, no.
You need to be under 220 probably to make these things work. From a purchase price, you know, the ARV could be 250, 300, just depending on where you are. But as far as purchasing and the numbers working in there, I mean, you can't get much higher than that and have it work. But the point I was trying to make is,
good point.
Our city's loaded with opportunities to BRRRR, right?
That's right.
North, out east, south, it doesn't really matter. We've got those chances. So
correct. Good.
Any that really what I wanted to get out was the strategy part of it today. I you know, those are some of the things that I've seen work. I mean, I kind of bundled a lot of our notes
but dude,
into,
I think
one conversation.
Two things is like, hey, watch the zip code, break down on this YouTube channel or download the podcast or wherever on Facebook. Those are great, and get familiarize yourself with the city. Like you said, I love that strategy because so many folks, myself included, have gotten lost in spreadsheets and numbers, and
you can spreadsheet a house to death.
Yes. But that strategy of here's how we're going to do it, here's a plan, is gold. I mean, this is one of the best episodes just to hear that, as to somebody to strip that out of here and be like, that's the way to do it.
I agree.
I'm like, that's as good as anything you've ever said in a podcast, in my opinion, as far as somebody watching this, taking value out of this, of like how I can do this and learn and build a foundation instead of doing exactly what you said, which is, being the spreadsheet jockey and trying to get the BRRRR and it going wrong and then pulling out.
Because this isn't, by the way, like, the BRRRR is nothing I created. I mean, that's, everybody knows what that is.
Nobody's
this way, this strategy I'm talking about of my
Yeah.
This is not anything that I sat down one night and said, man, I got to get ready for the podcast. I'm going to write some stuff out. This is what I have lived
born of
for
experience.
6 and 7 years. This is what I have been watching happen and watching fail. Or succeed and watching fail.
Yeah, that's right.
When people come in and they do it this way, it gives them confidence, knowledge.
Yes.
That they're moving slowly without then we'll BRRRR and we'll just go wild. Once you tell me, hey, I'm ready to go and I'm comfortable, well, let's just BRRRR everything else from then on, right?
Yes.
And if you want to end up selling these because, hey, the numbers aren't there, great, we'll sell them and move them because they're in areas that are suburban
easy
and
to
easy
sell,
to
easy
get rid
to
of.
market. That's
so
right.
I hope all this is tying into how much sense this makes, and then you could keep them or whatever you want to do with them.
Well, you said it. Do you want to build a business or do you want to do a transaction? If you want to build a business, call Dean Harris.
Yeah. If you want to do a transaction, call me too. But I'm telling you, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to work for you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not going to be nearly as successful as if you just come in and say, "Hey, I'm going to buy rentals." And the first rental you start off with is a $30,000 construction job with people you don't know. I'm here to tell you, I can make it work. 80% of the time, it's fine. You just got to find a way to build that trust in me. If you're that person you trust right away, okay, let's start it. But I'm here to tell you that things can go wrong. You said it best.
That's good.
If you're going to build a business, let's do it this way. Let's slow buy. Let's buy higher end homes that are going to teach you about the city and investing. Then let's get a little risk taking, a little chance here, and let's do that burst strategy.
Amen.
There you go. Anything else?
Mic drop, dude.
Great.
That's awesome.
Okay, guys. One thing that we've talked about in the last couple of podcast episodes is a weekly Zoom call with me. Truly.
Awesome.
I put this out last time and I got a lot of feedback. If you would like a Zoom call and it's something you would want to attend, shoot me an email, dean@crestcore.com, and just simply say, "Hey, I'd love the Zoom call." I think I'm gonna go ahead and set it up.
Love it.
We're gonna have people email in questions. I'm gonna host it. It'll probably not be an open conversation. It'll just be me answering questions that you guys send in live. I'll give just a current little update of what I'm seeing that week in the market. It'll be a little bit more hands-on, a little bit more up to date as far as info and data. But the real reason is for all of you new investors and new clients that are coming on board. Instead of me fielding, hundreds of calls all week long with basically the same questions, I think it would be a great idea for me to set the Zoom up. We'll have a 30-minute Zoom meeting, and I'll just read as many questions as I can and answer as many questions as I can during that Zoom time. So if you think that would be beneficial, if you would love to join into that, shoot me a quick email, dean@crestcore.com. And I think in the next week, we're going to try to have it set up. So Great. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, good. See ya.